Welcome to WTF. It is Wednesday, February 22nd. Thanks for tuning in. Our 4th episode. We made it a
Happy
month.
month-iversary.
Can you believe it? We're still on the air.
They haven't canceled us yet.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have Jen Anson, Debbie Martinez, and former Army Ranger Jason Moore in the house tonight.
Hey.
Guys, I think I mentioned last week that this guy is a national treasure, a hero, a national treasure. So if you don't know, Jason was involved in the ground battle that the movie Blackwak Down is based on. Like, how cool is that?
Very cool.
So,
Awesome.
Jay, thanks for coming in tonight. It's so good to see you. Yeah, you got to get the mic closer.
Thanks for having me, Trey. It's so good to see you. It's been a while.
I know. We go way back. Our sons have been best friends since kindergarten. And Jay and his wife lived a couple doors down from us. So we've had a lot of shenanigans over the years. And you moved to Georgia a few years ago. So we really miss you guys. So it's so good to see you. And I'm so glad you can join us tonight.
Yeah, thanks. We miss the Brannigan shenanigans. It's been a while, and that's I think one of the things we miss most about New Jersey.
It's a whole thing. So let's start with Blackwak Down. I mean, have you seen the movie Blackwak Down?
I have not.
All right, you got to watch it. Aside from the movie, there's a lot of documentaries based on it, books, all kinds of things. Can you give us like a synopsis for anybody that doesn't know about the battle?
Sure. Well, they initially made a PBS documentary called Ambush in Mogadishu about it. So we got to work with the PBS group down in D.C., and they made it was an interview style thing. They interviewed about 10 of us, and unfortunately, my mug is in there for about 30 minutes of that. So, and then a couple years after that, Blackwak Down came out, the book. It was a book written by, what's his name? I don't remember. It wasn't very important. But, and then Ridley Scott actually produced that and took it from a book into a movie. And so a lot of people in the 2000 time frame, obviously saw the movie. It was based on what happened in Somalia in 1993. And so after the movie came out, a lot of the guys that joined the Army from 2000 and probably 5 or 6 on and were involved in the war on terror, a lot of them have come up to me, privately and at different functions and been like, that movie's the reason I joined the Army, or that movie's why I wanted to sign up. So, it's kind of cool. It's kind of
pretty
cool.
Inspirational.
Stuff.
Yeah.
It definitely is. So can you recap the battle for us, how it all went down? I mean, was it your first tour of duty?
It was my first combat tour.
So your first combat tour. How old were you at the time?
21. I had turned 21 on the flight over to Mogadishu, Somalia.
And did you ever could you ever imagine that you would be involved in this epic battle?
No. I joined the Army during peacetime, and I joined the Rangers. And, the joke we always make is I was too dumb to quit. Because they just, they're like, all right, we're going to run until 5 people fall down and pass out.
Yeah.
And then, we'll pick them up and we'll carry them back. And then if you're still around, tomorrow we'll do something just as stupid. And I was too stupid to quit.
Right.
And so it was cool because we trained, every day. And so it's like being on the practice squad every day, and then finally getting selected to go to the Super Bowl or the Pro Bowl.
Right.
And you finally get to play in the big game where...
But you don't know it's the big game until you're there, right? Like, you every day think you're in a drill, or do you know?
No, we do.
So you get briefed every day.
Yes, every day there's you work out. It's a normal scheduled day. You may work out, you go to the range and shoot targets. And then you'll walk back through the woods and using a compass, and then the next day you'll get up and do it all over again. Or a lot of times you will actually go through the motions of flying into another country, jumping out of a plane, and having this. But you always know it's a training mission and not real. So once once this happened, you know, and we knew the targets were going to be shooting back this time, it became a little more serious.
So, like, at what point? So, how long were you in Somalia there doing your drills until the day of the battle? How long
We
were
were
you
there about 2.5 months.
Okay.
But we had gone out into the city a dozen times before that, on helicopters, landing in the city, walking through the city when we first got there, and been in a couple real small skirmishes, you know, a couple shots fired, and you know, we joked and laughed about it, and it wasn't real until October 3rd. And when we fast roped in on October 3rd, it seemed like, you know, the whole city was out and wanted to make sure we didn't go home.
All right. So there was some intelligence, right? You were being briefed on. They brief you every day, right?
Yes,
So
multiple
there's
times
some
a day.
intelligence, and you know they're sending you out.
So
on
the
these
background
missions.
on that is Mohammed Faradid was one of the clan leaders in Somalia, one of the biggest clan leaders in Somalia, and the NGOs, non-governmental organizations, and different charity organizations would send. There was a famine going on in Africa at the time, Ethiopia and Somalia especially. So they would send these huge cargo ships full of grain and food to the Somalis. And Mohammed Faradid would intercept it. As soon as it got loaded off the trucks, he would steal it and use that to pay his henchmen, his warlords. And so after a few months, they called us in, and our initial mission was to capture Mohammed Faradid and stop him from stealing these you know, charity shipments of food. And so that was what we did. We took out probably 8 or 10 of his highest ranking officials, and we raided the radio station there. And so that was all these small missions. And then we got intelligence that he was at the Olympic Hotel, and so we flew 4 helicopters in to surround the hotel, and we fast roped out of the helicopters. You just grab a rope and slide down the rope.
Slide down.
Yeah. And then we were working with a bunch of different other groups, the SEALs in Delta. So Delta landed on the roof and came from the top down and flushed them out, and that was our mission. And although we did not catch him, we chased him out of Somalia before we left.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you for your service, and thank you to everybody in the military, past, present, and future.
Yes.
Thank
Absolutely.
you for
Thank
your
you.
service.
Yes.
We salute you. We do. So if they were ever going to cast Jason Moore in a movie, who would you want to play you in a movie?
Oh, that's a tough one.
You two girls, who would you want to
Yeah,
play you in a movie?
That is a great question.
I don't know.
Nobody knows.
How about you?
Yeah, how about you?
Who do you think you'd want?
I think Jennifer Coolidge might be my spirit animal. We're like just two
Yeah,
goofballs.
she's great.
Like,
Yeah,
see
you were
the
saying that the
goofball,
other
like,
day.
goofy, like,
Yeah, no. Well,
yeah, she's kind of a goofball like me. I think she'd be a good. I mean, she's a lot older than I am, but
yeah,
you know,
of course, yeah.
much older. But no answers.
Well, I always get the namesake, the name Jennifer Aniston, so I'll go with her.
Yeah, all right.
And that's
Not
who
a
I
bad
was
choice.
thinking. That's not
Not
fair.
a bad choice at all.
I mean, I would love to look like her, and actually,
you're so much hotter than Jennifer Aniston.
Yes.
yeah, I know, I'm aware of that.
100%.
Yeah,
I
I think so too.
definitely.
She stole my person. That's who I was
You
thinking.
want Jennifer Aniston? Well,
I
maybe
do.
she could do like a Parent Trap thing.
She plays
like-
twins.
Play both
Yes.
of you.
She'll play us both at the same time.
So now, Jay, what are you up to now?
Well, I am semi-retired. We moved down to Georgia, and you know we're raising 2 young children. But I work with a small whiskey company that is called Three Rangers. And
Three Rangers whiskey.
it's funny what you said. The Three Rangers stand for Rangers Past, Present, and Future.
Oh,
So
wow, that's
way.
wonderful.
I swear to God.
I had no idea. I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
That is.
and so one of the guys that was in Somalia, when he got out, he started a whiskey company, Three Rangers. The whiskey company is to support the charity, the Three Rangers Foundation. And so We've gone from a very small niche craft brand and into a little bit larger, selling brand. But we're available in about 20 states now.
Oh.
And
Are you up north?
not but the most northern stores in North Carolina.
Okay.
And
okay.
we are available on certain military bases up north.
Okay.
And so, the Ranger battalions are in Washington State, and there's 2 in Georgia. One in Columbus down south, and one in on Tybee Island in Savannah.
Oh, wow.
And so, that's our main focus. There's a lot of recognition amongst the brand there, and then we,
Absolutely,
we sell a lot in Illinois, where the company was started. All the distilling is done by Koval, but Koval Distilling Company. But yeah,
And they're in Illinois?
they're in Chicago. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you can easily bring the market to New Jersey. Like, you know people. Let's do it.
Believe it or not, there are so many laws governing the sale of alcohol. It's an absolute minefield to go through as far as being able to distribute alcohol in certain states.
So, Jason, I think your wife must be commenting under your name,
I'm
because
sure she
I don't
is.
think it's you.
Hi,
She
Kim.
wants us to know that Mark Bowden is the author of Blackwak
That is
Down.
Mark Bowden.
Bowden. And told you,
Well,
I mess
you
everything
said
up that I
that.
read. And then the other thing she wants us to know is that you don't get paid. It's a hobby.
It's very
And she
clear.
said hi.
Got called out.
Hi, Kim. We miss you. Love you.
Yeah, so we go back and forth all the time. It is more of a hobby. I do it because it's more than a whiskey company. I get to see my friends. I get to see guys that I was
You
in
get
combat
paid
with.
in something other than money.
Yes,
Right.
and I every time I see him, it's something special, and my wife can attest to that. We had a bottle signing at our house. A couple of the guys happened to be in the area, and we did a bottle signing at the house, and it's just, you can feel, how close we are. And I've even talked to several units that have been involved in the war on terror, and guys that have been in units, and for some reason, and I don't know why, but Bravo Company 3rd Ranger Battalion is just really tight.
Yeah.
We were one of the first ones, I guess, to have the availability of social media to keep us
Yes.
together.
Yeah.
So that helped. But there's just something about that group of people in general that's amazing. One of the
Bond it for life.
yeah, and I get that other units have been in some crazy stuff, and the war on terror, that the Ranger Battalion does above and beyond what we do. Back with the technology they have, and the skill set they have is above and beyond anything we had at the time. But during the war on terror, the Ranger Battalions captured or killed more high-value targets than any other unit in the military.
Really?
So that they are the go-to guys for everything. But that being said, we are just our group of about 100 guys are closer than I would say anybody else,
Wow.
any group in the Army. And as a matter of fact, right here in Vineland, one of the soldiers that was killed in Blackwak Down in Somalia was Dominic Pilla, who lived right in Vineland. His sister is still a teacher in Vineland. His family's been there forever. They named a school after him, the new middle school after him, 2 or 3 years ago, and 50 guys showed up from across the country: Texas, Kentucky, Florida, New Jersey, you name, California, you name it, came out for this school dedication.
That didn't even know him personally.
No, they did. They
did.
were all
Oh,
with
okay.
us.
Yeah.
They were all in Bravo Company.
That's a
Yeah.
strong bond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The brotherhood and sisterhood. Are there any women in the?
Sore subject, especially
Oh,
for
I'm
me.
sorry.
No, but there have been, I guess, about a handful of women that have been to the Ranger Battalion now, that have gone through Ranger School and gone into the Ranger Battalion. Generally, they don't fare well.
Okay.
They're usually in a position like intelligence or something like that.
Sure.
And it's a difficult culture to really break into.
Yeah.
And physically, it's so completely demanding.
Yeah.
Although you wouldn't tell by looking at me now, at one time, you know, we would run 10 miles on Monday morning to atone for our sins over the weekend.
Right.
And that, like, you didn't blink an eye at it. It was just,
Yeah.
that's what you did
You
on
knew,
Monday
you knew it
morning.
was coming. You knew.
You know, 100 push-ups in 2 minutes was nothing to, you know, that wasn't out of the ordinary. You may do that 3 or 4 times a day.
Yeah.
So, you know, you were, you know, you thought you were invincible. Like physically, you thought you could do anything. I mean, including leap tall buildings in a single bound.
You had to. You
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
You had to be ready to do that.
Yeah.
At the time, though, were you thinking, what the hell did I sign myself up for? Like, what am I
No.
doing? No?
No. You know, it's
'Cause you
crazy.
thought you were invincible.
Honestly, while it was happening, because it happened to everyone else around you, like, oh, I jumped out of a helicopter today. Well, so did 100 other
Yeah,
guys.
everybody
Everyone
did
else,
too.
yeah.
You know, oh, I ran, you know, we ran 15 miles today. Well, so did everybody else.
Yeah.
Oh, I, you know, did this walk over the water and, you know, climbed in and took a plastic boat and drove it into a helicopter, and the helicopter was submerged in the water, and this helicopter takes off, and you're like, you hook onto the helicopter, and you know, these just absolutely wild things, but everybody else was doing
Right.
it. So you didn't think anything of, you know, that
Second
was just
nature.
another Tuesday.
You don't even think twice.
Just
Yeah.
another Tuesday, yeah.
Right, exactly.
I wanted to ask you. I completely forgot. Just lost my mind.
Okay, so then I'll interject. I thought about who could play me in a movie.
Oh, okay.
All right.
We're going to go backwards. Melissa McCarthy.
Oh,
I like her.
Yes.
She's
She's
so
great.
and
funny.
she's funny.
She could play
And
me
I'm
too.
funny.
You are very funny.
You are
Hysterical.
hysterically funny.
I was thinking about that, so.
And
I
She
retract.
could play me too. Well, goofy.
Okay, she can play you too.
Wonderfulness.
But me first.
But I reminded me of like what I wanted to say.
I know it.
The brotherhood of the Army Rangers. It's really something special because you could be anywhere in the country. Anywhere in the country. You don't even have to pick up your phone. You could just make a post, maybe like on social media or something. And I mean, you got a guy for
Yeah.
everything. This guy's got a guy.
You got a
for
guy.
Talking about,
everything.
we
We
were
were-
talking about having a guy for something.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
he's
I've got
a
all the
guy.
guys.
He's got all the guys for all the things, anywhere in the country, a phone call away. It's the most unbelievable things. And sometimes it's guys you don't even really personally know. Like you're just
When we moved out of 7 Patricia Lane, right
Yeah.
next to your house, I put up a post. If you know any of my Ranger buddies are in the area, we're moving from here to here. We're having a pig roast, and you know, come on down. We need a little help. And Bob was there, and he says, hey Jay, there's this guy. He looks a little angry, and you really want to step out here. So I walk out, and it's a guy that was in the Rangers and had lived in upstate New York, but was working at the time in at the Aberdeen Proving Ground down in Maryland, and was driving by on his way home
out.
on a Saturday to go back to his family. He stayed there during the week and went back
Right.
on the weekend, and literally just pulled off the road and helped us move.
That's
Like-
amazing.
Yep.
That's amazing.
And I had never met him prior to that day. Never met him, you know, like.
It was the pig roast.
it must-
it's just the brotherhood. It's
Yeah.
just an amazing bond, and
I
it's just
took my
mind-boggling.
son on a, I don't know, 3-month cross-country trip, just him and I and the expedition. And we were gone for roughly 90 days, give or take. But we spent 8 days in a tent, probably 7 days in a hotel, and the other 60 days or so, we stayed with Ranger buddies across the country. In Idaho, in California, in Texas, in Fort Benning, Georgia, in Savannah, Georgia, Virginia, like just San Antonio. It was,
It was like a reunion for
Yeah.
you, probably.
oh yeah, it was great. And then one of my buddies said, well, hey, you remember, you know, our buddy started a whiskey company out in Ennis, Montana, Willie's Distillery, Willie Blazer. And so he called him, and I had met Willie like passing in the hallway. He was leaving as I got there, but didn't really. And he had, he laid out, he was gone that weekend, said, yeah, you can stay at the house or, camp behind the distillery and
He
left
wasn't even
us.
there.
Yeah, wasn't even at his
Wasn't
house.
even there.
And left a bottle of the honey moonshine for us
Ooh,
to have on
nice.
the way back. Yeah, it's you can't imagine how close.
No, I can't imagine any of the things you've seen in your life.
No.
Really. It blows my mind.
This guy has stories
Upon stories.
for years, like the best stories too. And the way you tell the stories are hilarious. One of my favorites is that, and I don't even know if you could talk about this on the air, but I'm going to throw it out there because it's my favorite. But the international fugitive story.
Oh
You're
God!
I don't know
This
if you can
sounds
talk about
good.
it. It's
It
okay
just-
if you can't talk about it, but it's just
We could
it's my
definitely
favorite
talk.
story.
This is actually a mild story, but so we are traveling to not Australia, New Zealand, and I stopped in L.A. and I gave a speech about Somalia and about different things, good things and bad things, to the LAPD, their Special Crimes Division. So I'm up there and I give this speech and we do a couple-day holiday in Louisiana, and then we leave out of LAX, and somehow we had gotten passes to like the Delta Club or whatever. This is the first time.
The Pilots Club.
Yeah. And I am very, blue collar, just, So we go in there and we have breakfast and we're drinking and we've got about 4 hours, so we're drinking a little more and then having some pastries and this and that. And all of a sudden it's time to go. So I grab a couple pears, I throw them in my backpack that was carried on with me, and we head out. And it's an 18-hour flight or something crazy to New Zealand. And so we're flying to New Zealand, and I end up, we're sitting we have the 4 seats in the middle, my wife and I and another couple. And so real quick, my buddy orders 8 Jack and Cokes before we're even on the runway. And the woman's like, no, I'm sorry, I can only give you 2 each. He's like, yeah, 2 for all of us. Now, my wife doesn't drink. His wife doesn't drink. So I've got 4 Jack and Cokes in my hand before we ever leave the runway. And he continues to order 8 Jack and Cokes, like every time they walk down. So now we're like 8 hours into this trip, and I'm passed out. Wake up in
They did their job.
Yeah.
Jack and Cokes.
Wake up in New Zealand. My wife's complaining I fell asleep on her and I wouldn't get up, and so we're getting off the plane. They say, "Do you have any fruit on you?" I'm like, "No, I didn't pack any."
Oh.
Yeah, and so of course I'm like, "No, of course not." And she's like, "I'm going to ask you again, sir. Do you have any fruit on you?"
Did they know?
And I'm hungover. I'm miserable. I'm in New Zealand. Like, I don't remember a pear
Jet lag,
yeah.
Jack and Coke.
20 Jack
Wife's
and Cokes.
yelling at you because you fell asleep.
and they're asking about a pear from 20 hours ago. I don't know. Like, come on. Like, so they've got this little beagle dog, and her and the beagle dog walk right up, and she starts to, and as soon as her hand starts to reach, it occurs to me that's where I put this pear. And I'm like, oh my God. So, but
Pear
normally,
smuggler.
yeah. Well, normally it's
International pear smuggler.
no big deal. You throw it in the garbage.
Right.
But New Zealand has a kiwi crop, and they don't have fruit flies. So bringing fruit into New Zealand is like a huge deal.
I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
I hate fruit flies.
Exactly. And so the woman says to me, she goes, "Look, it's a $400 fine, and and you can pay it anytime before you leave." And I'm like, "I'm not paying you $400
For a pear.
And she's like,
A free pear.
All right, sir. How long are you here for?"
$400 pear.
And I'm like, "Well, we have 13 days and then we leave." She's like, "Well, you have 14 days to pay for this before we flag your passport." and I'm like, I don't know what you're talking. I'm not paying for it. Like, and I'm yelling. And she's like, "Sir." She's trying to tell me that as long as you're not stupid, you will be gone before we flag your passport. But I am too much of a hot mess to realize that. So I'm still arguing with her.
She said you
And
have 14 days.
yeah,
I get it.
So
yeah.
she's rolling her eyes. She's like, "I'm trying to help this guy out,
You're only here for 12.
He
whatever it
he
is.
won't listen." And so finally, my wife kicks me because she understands.
She's sober.
Yes, it's just sober
Right.
and not hungover, and And so needless to say, I never paid my penalty and just got out of the country. And so now there is a warrant. I am an international fugitive because of this, and I can't go back to New Zealand.
That story. I love it.
And I want to go back because New Zealand is awesome.
I was just going to say, I think I've read somewhere that New Zealand is like the most zen place on earth to live.
Absolutely unbelievable.
Jay can never go back.
And I can never go back.
You can never be
Can
zen
you go?
again.
You can't pay the fine?
Pay your $400
Well,
and go
now
back
there's
into
a
the country?
fine
Plus
and fees and
taxes.
add-on. And,
What year was this?
$4,000.
oh, 2013 maybe?
Oh, okay.
Oh, 10
Yeah,
years
so
later.
you've accrued a lot of interest on
Yeah,
that
it's
fine.
It's now a $4,000
Yeah,
pair.
exactly. The pair is now beyond.
Just avoid it.
Yeah.
Don't go there.
And people, it's crazy because other people were pulling out like stuff that they had prepared. It wasn't fruit, but like we had friends with us that had made the bacon wrapped dates, which is one of the best things in the world.
Yes, they are.
But they're pulling that out. People are pulling guns out. People are pulling.
Shut up.
Because there's a lot of hunting there. But they're literally pulling
And
out.
your pair was
and
the
I am
biggest
going
contraband on
to
that
jail for a
airplane.
pair.
There.
Contraband.
He's got a million stories like this. You guys
Oh,
have
that's
to
a great
understand
story.
Kim
that.
said, please mention people were opening up suitcases of guns.
Yeah, see, I told you. They were literally like, and here I am, and all of them are standing around me, like, gonna get the guy with the pair.
Yeah, no.
I mean,
this
this
is
is done damage with that pair.
I know.
Yeah.
Taking out
Illegal.
thousands of crops.
Yeah, the
Who
kiwi
knows?
crop.
I will say every time I order a glass of wine, no matter where we're sitting, any restaurant, all of a sudden, me or my husband will go, God damn, they followed us here.
Flies.
Like the fruit flies.
You're like Pigpen from Peanuts.
I swear I am.
Hang around
I
you.
have those little fruit fly catchers. They look like little tomatoes all around my house.
Really?
They
Really?
they drive us crazy. I cannot stand a fruit fly,
Oh God.
but I buy a lot of fruit.
This is personal.
So do you
Yeah.
put vinegar in those little traps?
Well, they come with a little,
Like a certain special.
but I reuse them. I put my own vinegar in there because I'm cheap.
I'll have to get that from
You're
you.
thrifty.
Jay's got a million stories
Whatever you
like
wanna
this,
call
though.
it.
Like this guy. I mean, anytime you hang out with him, you could have an ironclad plan, but something is gonna come up, and it's gonna be so crazy. You would never anticipate it, and there's always a story. I mean, we have a million of them.
Well, how about the night of the, what concert was that? When Bob and Trey are doing the walk of shame on our driveway.
What did you do?
They didn't do anything. I'm still
we-
finding stuff in that hot tub.
Oh, this is getting very
Beer bottles
interesting.
and taco. and-
Not a good story. for the
We won't tell that story.
No, it was totally innocent story.
It was.
It was just absolutely hilarious.
It was just mayhem from start to finish. I think it was the Bare Naked Ladies concert.
It was. It was
at
one of the
Mercer
first
County
concerts at
Park.
Mercer County Park.
Yeah, that big.
Oh,
like,
I remember that.
outside
Men at
venue
Work
kind of thing.
were there, and
And it was raining.
Raining.
We were sitting in the rain all day. I mean, it was just crazy. Yeah,
and Bob telling us, you go to point A to point B. There's no stopping at Taco Bell. You go to point A to point B. That's how you handle these situations.
I think we did stop it.
We did stop. I told
We
you.
went against every rule. Like it was not good. But I want to talk about the hot water heater. Remember?
Oh my God.
Jason and I replaced my hot water heater. And I don't even know, did I call you and say, Jay, my hot water heater broke?
Yes. And I said, well, and I said, well, you know what? Just get a new one. I'll put it in for you. No
he's
big
like,
deal.
Have it done in an hour,
got a guy
2
for that.
hours. Yeah,
You got a guy for that. Yeah.
And so I put in several hot water heaters, and she got the hot water heater.
He's like, it's so easy.
We put it in. We hooked it all
Well,
up.
wait. First, he's like, all right, the first thing we need to do is empty the old hot water heater.
Yeah.
So we got the 5-gallon bucket. So we're filling it up. I can't pick up the 5-gallon bucket filled with 5 gallons of water up the stairs. So now it's 2 gallons of water, the bucket, and I'm up and down the stairs. I don't know how many times. And it was freezing cold out, right? So I'm dumping the buckets of water like in the driveway, which would later turn to complete ice. Like, it was like a complete sheet of ice. But that's later. But so we get it emptied. He's, I'm handing him the tools. He's gets it all done. Go ahead.
No, I feel so bad about this story. So we finished installing the hot water heater. Fairly simple, a couple pipes to hook up, and then the pipe to go that takes the fumes out of the house.
So now I know how to install a hot water heater now.
Easy,
By the
yeah.
way, it is. It's a piece of cake.
And the last thing
Last
I
step.
do is take the soap and a little bit of water, and you make sure all your connections are good, so that if they start bubbling, you have gas
Right.
leaking.
You know
out of the
there's
house.
a leak.
Oh, okay.
that-
And
And
so
you die
we-
in your sleep that night.
Right.
Exactly. So I check all the lines, and nothing happens. There's no bubbles. So, all right, I think we're good. I know just enough about this to get us in trouble, but I think we're good here. And then I get a call from Trey. Like 4 or 5 hours later?
No, it was the next
gas-
morning.
Yeah, it was the next morning.
So we high five. We're like, yeah. I'm like,
We
I
knocked
just
it out.
learned how to replace a hot water heater. Like, this is a good life skill. So yeah, we're high fiving it. The next morning, I go into the basement to throw some laundry, and I'm overcome by gas fumes. Like the entire basement filled with gas. So I evacuate the whole family. I'm outside. I call PSC&G.
They're like, do not go back in there.
Yes, they're like, they come over, they tag the hot water heater, they turn the gas off, and I can't have the gas turned back on until somebody comes and
So now she's got no heat.
reinstalls.
You can't have the pilot light up.
Right, exactly. I've got no gas, no heat.
No
I
hot
have to have
water.
somebody come in now and redo the connections, and we laugh so hard about it.
I almost
later.
killed them all. I've
The
had,
whole house goes
She did ask you to help.
Yeah.
But that is probably one of the home projects that I feel the worst about. She called me up and
It
she was
was all
like,
good.
I opened the basement door and got knocked back by the fume.
No harm, no foul.
They're still here to talk about it. so
Exactly. So it all worked out in
Don't
the
cry
end.
about it.
But yeah, we got a million stories like that though.
We do.
So many good times. Tell us again about the Three Rangers whiskey. Is there a website?
There is a website, 3rangers.com, and you can actually purchase it and have it shipped to New Jersey.
You can.
You
So
can.
I can ship it to New Jersey.
It's expensive if you ship it to New Jersey.
I got a guy though.
Yeah, you
Got a
do
guy.
have
We
a
Got a guy
no
sitting
doubt.
right here.
Ship it to Pennsylvania. Is it cheaper?
I think anytime you ship alcohol, they
Right,
add
sure.
an exorbitant amount of money. But like you said, Trey, you got a guy.
You got a guy.
But it's great whiskey. It's a rye whiskey, and like a large portion goes to support the charity, which is great. Which it helps Rangers who are having a hard time transitioning from military life to civilian life, and
So important. If you like whiskey, check out Three Rangers and support the cause.
yeah, they're a great group of people.
So you brought samples for us tonight?
I did not. They would not. Yeah, we did a signing,
wondering.
and they
kidding.
wouldn't let
Yeah.
me take them on the plane.
I'm kidding.
Were they
should
going
have
to charge
shipped
you
them.
more for the whiskey or the pears?
I'm sure the
cares?
pears were more expensive. To this day, I regret not paying that fine. 'Cause I really would like to just go back to New Zealand.
I love that story. That's just a classic Jason Moore story.
You're in every post office in New Zealand. Your
Yeah,
face.
yeah, his face
Wanted.
for pear smuggling.
Smuggling.
Is there any comments on there?
On Facebook? No.
Yeah. Okay. No comments.
They all go to YouTube.
None of the boys chimed in. I'm
No,
surprised.
not that I know of. Doesn't mean they're not. Because I'm not really good at this.
And there is a delay, but keep the comments coming,
Yeah.
kids. So, all right, what did you do this weekend? Anything fun? Any events for the whiskey?
Well, we did a signing at the house.
That was this weekend.
Yeah, with a couple buddies. We're having a big event in Savannah. Savannah is like the third largest St. Patty's Day party in the country. I think
I never
Boston
knew
is
that.
first, Chicago's second, Savannah is
Never
the
heard
third.
of that.
Me
Oh,
neither. I
absolutely.
didn't know Savannah.
It's
was big.
amazing. They have a parade. The military gets invited. It's just
Road
it's so
trip?
much. They turn the
Road
Savannah.
trip?
I thought it was Tom's River.
They turn the Savannah River green, and it's just a lot of fun. It's a great time down there. They have River Street, which is all cobblestone. The ships used to come over from England across the North Sea, and they didn't have any cargo, and so they would go with these ballast rocks to keep the ship way down and low, and then they would dump all the ballast rocks out and load up with wool and tobacco and all these different supplies from the New World. And so they had, and so all these rocks were what they built the streets of there. So they had
Oh,
these
wow, that's amazing.
awesome, rocks from Europe that fill the streets of Savannah. It's a beautiful port town. Great food, a lot of fun. So we were having an event. Three Rangers is going to do an event out there.
When do you know the date?
It will be Friday and Saturday, the 17th and 18th of March, and then we're probably going to link up with one of my really close friends is a fishing captain in Savannah. He's also involved in the Great White Tagging Program, where they tag great white sharks and release them back into the wild and track what they do, and all that whole thing.
I love that. I always track the great white sharks on that the tracker. Like, you know, I forget what it's called. Not the NORAD tracker, but you can just tag them and see where they are up and down the coast and like.
Well, he's actually tagged one, and his thing is he names them after guys that were killed in the War on Terror.
Oh, awesome!
And he works with Gray's Taxidermy is part of the people that they work with. But that's one of the guys. It's a special group of guys that comes into the Rangers.
Yeah.
And so when they leave, they all do really cool things.
It's all about giving back.
So one is a charter captain, and he works as a charter captain mostly, and then takes guys out that are having trouble transitioning.
Wow.
And so he's got a charity called Not Lucky, KNOT Lucky. Love
that.
But then there are other guys that are lawyers. We have guys that are doctors. We have guys that have one of the largest T-shirt companies, distillery companies. Like, they don't go out and just do normal thing. They
Right.
don't go out and get a 9 to 5 working as an accountant.
Well, most of them don't know how to be normal.
Yeah,
Right.
They've
exactly.
done extraordinary things.
Yeah. How
So
do
they-
you come
yeah.
back and just be an accountant?
Yeah.
That's
Do a 9 to
And
5
nothing
job.
wrong with
Can't.
accounting. Do not get me wrong. But they just they tend to feed towards work that is fulfilling for them for whatever reason, and exciting, because once you've been out basically hunting humans, it's hard to find that excitement in other ways. So they do. One guy is a champion, was a champion jet ski guy at one time. Other guys do the kite surfing, like something to get an adrenaline rush, because once you have that adrenaline rush, it's definitely
How
something
do you
It's hard to match
give that
it.
up?
you
Yeah.
just walk away from. Yeah.
So cool. Maybe we should take a road trip, guys, to Savannah for this.
I'll go. I'll drive.
Kim will meet you. Kim would be there.
All
in a
right, I'm going
heartbeat.
to check the calendar. I think we should seriously consider it. What did you do this weekend? Anything fun?
Furniture shopping. That's
Oh, that's
exciting.
fun.
Furniture
No, I like
shopping.
furniture
Did you
shopping.
find it?
For
What kind of
President's
furniture?
Day.
Oh, yeah, the big sales.
Yeah, we got couches for the basement, so they'll be delivered this week.
Oh, that's fun. That's impressive. For a while, everything we were ordering, furniture, I ordered a new oven. Everything
Took
was like
forever.
6 months.
Yeah. They wanted to
Yeah.
deliver it yesterday. I was like, no.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
we need to organize and
They're
get stuff
caught
out
up.
of the way.
They finally, after like 6 months, delivered 2 pieces of my sectional. The 2 pieces that didn't go together. And I was hosting, I think it was like Thanksgiving or something, with like 2 random pieces of furniture. I'm done. I'm done with it. What'd you do?
I had a low-key weekend.
Oh, I long for a low-key weekend.
Low-key weekend. I had an injured child at home, so.
Oh, no, Derek?
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah, he's fine. But,
He's
just had to lay low a little bit.
I want to lay low.
What did you
had
do?
a major life revelation this weekend about, things I'm just too old to do. Like, I'm just too old for.
And what are you too old for?
Well, it all started with the weekend. First of all, the weekend was so crazy. Friday night, I hosted a little dinner party at the house. That was fun. Saturday,
delicious.
Cole had a playoff game for basketball. Also, at the same time, we were supposed to be at a Globetrotters game, so we had to come up with a plan B for that, but we figured that all out. Then my best friend was in town, so we had to get into some trouble. We were up till 3 in the morning at my house, having like a slumber party, laughing,
great.
talking all night. It was so much fun. Then she dragged me to brunch Sunday morning, boozy brunch, at Americana.
Yeah,
Oh, I've
in-
heard
West
it's
Windsor?
very good
East
for
Windsor.
brunch.
Is it East Windsor or
Route
West Windsor?
130, East Windsor.
East Windsor. Okay.
Hightstown, I grew up
so
there.
I used to go there all the time. We used to always have our meetings for work there when it was Americana Diner.
Yeah.
Well, she had a little facelift, a little work done.
Yes, she
They
did.
revamped it, I guess.
Oh, yes.
Right after COVID, there was a whole like outside area.
Yes.
It is beautiful there, and now it's Americana Kitchen and Bar, I think. And they had a live jazz quartet, and we were there for hours. We just carried on all day. It was so much fun.
And what were you
Best
drinking?
kind of brunch.
Prosecco. I was drinking Prosecco. My best friend Jamie was drinking Cosmos, I think. The bartender made a mistake. We didn't even order another round of drinks. We were just having a drink with brunch. He comes over with 4 drinks. And we're like, we didn't order these. He said, I'm so sorry. I made a mistake. Obviously, I'm not going to charge you for them. I'll keep them cold for you. So obviously, at that point, we were
Can't let 'em go to waste.
obligated
No.
to stay for hours and
Finish
you know,
every
finish
last
the
one of
drinks,
those.
and
Sure.
So we had us a day. It was a
So
good
what
time.
what part of that are you too old for?
So the Sunday night when I was crawling into bed at 7 p.m., so exhausted, so exhausted. I realized
day drinking will do that to you.
the whole
Nothing
whole
better
weekend.
than
I mean,
day
there are certain things I simply am too old for now, and activities on Friday, Saturday, and
Okay.
Sunday,
Yeah, I
all
agree.
back to back.
You have to have
Definitely one of
downtime.
them.
Yes.
I know it's like you work all week. I can't do it anymore. It's terrible. Then he got me like I could go on all day about the things I am
Too old
simply
for.
too
Too
old
old to
for
do.
right now. Like a nightclub. Can't go to a nightclub. Like we're too old for that.
I'm too old to get out of bed. Tracy.
I know,
Like getting out
look.
of bed, I might pull a hammy. You know, like it's
Exactly.
possible.
Like
Gotta
the
be
only
careful.
club I want to go to is Sam's Club or BJ's or Costco. That's it. What else? Oh, and this one. Providing transportation to or from an airport. Too old for it. I mean, if you called me and asked me, can you take me to the airport or pick me up? I will say, yes, I can. And I am going to send a car for you.
Uber.
Yeah, I'll send a car. And that, it was a whole nother thing. Am I the asshole? AITA. Am I the asshole if you call me for a ride to or from the airport and I send a car for you? Like, are you going to be mad at that?
No,
No.
no, because it's still a ride.
Right.
Yeah, I think people would be mad at that.
Are you
I'd be
paying
happy
for
you
it?
paid for
Of
it. That's what I
course
was just
I'm
going to
paying for
say.
it. Yes.
Thank you.
And I actually have a guy
think
for
you're
that.
very
So
nice.
I would, it's safe. I'm not sending some broken down
Rando.
Cutlass Sierra Uber driver. Like it's safe.
You're gonna get a lot
I'm
of
calling
hate from
Tracy
the
next
Cutlass
time I
Sierra
come home.
owners.
Do they still make those? No.
I don't know.
Oh, I love it.
Kim
Tracy's
said
our,
she would
Tracy's
be
our
mad.
guy for a ride home from the airport now.
I got a guy.
Kim would be mad.
Kim, you would be mad, but I'm going to
Oh,
send
she would be.
my
100%.
guy.
She asked you, not a stranger.
He's not a stranger. He's like family to me. His name is Ahmad Alaudal. His company is Give Me Ride of Princeton, and he will come pick you up in a beautiful Mercedes. And then I'll have a nice meal prepared for when you arrive to the
Oh
house.
yeah, I'm just gonna ask you for a ride anywhere now.
Yeah, exactly.
Just to get the ride and a meal. Like, can you give me a ride to Quaker Bridge Mall, Trace?
But I'm not an
go
asshole,
shopping
right?
and come home and have a meal made for me. I'm gonna
I
have a
don't think so.
charcuterie board.
Somebody wants
Wait,
to ride to
charcuterie.
the airport. It's always like you got to leave at 4 a.m. It's like LaGuardia
Yeah, they
Airport.
don't ask you
like-
for a ride.
And it's like
in the no
Thanksgiving
traffic
Eve.
time.
Exactly.
I had 2 friends from the military that went over to Ireland, and they said, "Hey, can you pick us up when we get back?" Didn't give a time or a date on our way back, and I said, "Sure."
You
This
said
is
yes.
Howie and so me and Howie.
Ask
were-
questions
yeah.
first.
Yeah, and Kristen. But it was Howie and our buddy Mick. And they had gone back to see Mick's family. And so they called and said, "Hey, can you give us a ride back from the airport?" "No problem, blah, blah, blah." Then they call with the actual times and dates. And they are all the way, whatever the airport is, all the way at the end of Long Island. And it's at 7 p.m. on a Friday night.
Oh,
So
my
I
God.
have to drive like through Long Island, through the city,
All
through
that
Long
rush
Island
hour.
traffic. It took like 4 hours to get to the airport, and that's when I said, "Never again."
Never
like,
again? I know.
I don't do it.
So we're not calling you.
No.
Call me. I love you.
I'm calling you.
Jason,
I will send a car for you.
Jersey Joe said, "Love Ranger, even though I'm better than him at Texas Hold'em."
Who's that, Kim?
No, Jersey Joe.
From remember in quarantine, he would play
Oh yes, yes.
Jersey Jersey Joe. Hi, Jersey Joe.
I believe the actual stats would disprove that statement, but we'll have to go back and check.
You might have to get a game going just to prove it.
Oh, we had during
fun.
quarantine, we played an online game, but like watched each other on Zoom and chatted and talked on Zoom at
Right.
the same time, and it was bad. Like it got bad. There was a lot of late night poker games, a lot of late night drinking for an extended period of time.
It was
there.
great. I want to go back to
Yeah, let's go
quarantine.
back to COVID times.
I mean, I wouldn't mind. I think I'm going to self-quarantine this weekend.
Well, when we came out of it,
Forever.
all of a sudden I had like 8 invitations to things sitting there,
It's too
like
much.
one after another, and I get it, but I looked at my husband and I was like,
It's
I'm gonna
madness.
go back to quarantine.
I know.
Like
It's too people-y.
It was simpler.
We have overlapping things, and now I have to choose, and I don't want to do that. I
Right,
just
and now
wanna
you're
stay home.
booked Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
And you're too old for that.
I definitely told
Your
that.
friend Jamie commented. She said, "Yep, we had a night and a day. I'm the luckiest best friend ever."
Oh, my girl.
See,
my best
so don't
girls.
complain because that was.
Is that?
Can we
You
go
went to
back
Hard
to
Rock?
the drive-by
Yes.
birthday parties where you wave and toss a gift out the window?
Oh, I remember those.
Do you remember those?
I
I
wanna
showed
go
up
back.
a day early for Tracy's drive-by birthday party
I remember that.
with my glass of wine in the car.
We did do a drive by Tracy's house for her
We did-
birthday.
I was
I
part
pulled
of
up to
that.
the parking
That's
lot. There
great.
was nobody there. I went, where is everybody?
Then she starts texting us. Are we meeting tonight?
No.
No.
Tomorrow.
For what? Oh, but wait, and I thought of something else. I'm too old for it. This. It might be the worst one. Zoos, aquariums, and a parade of any
I've
kind.
never been.
What you have seen?
I've
one,
always
you
been
have
too
seen
old.
them all. Like they are all the same. I'm sorry. You like a zoo aquarium?
I haven't
parade?
gone lately. No, I don't go to any of them anymore.
No, I've been too old my entire life for that.
I mean, they're always the same.
When
It's
the
same
kids were
thing.
younger.
Well, right. I think
Once
if I
the
have
kids lost
grandchildren,
interest.
I'll get back into that. But
Once the kids weren't interested.
yeah, you're over it.
Not
right?
going
So
there, yeah.
What are you too old for? Well, like,
Me?
Yeah.
Nothing.
really?
Nothing.
How
Try
about you?
anything. No.
You're too old to get out of bed.
Yeah, that is all. But once I'm out of bed,
You're good. He's
anything
up for
could
anything.
happen.
He wants the adrenaline rush. He's going diving with sharks. Like,
Absolutely.
you name it. He's up for anything.
I put on dinner party. You remember our dinner party when I got
Yeah.
back from Alaska fishing? We did the deconstructed fish 3 ways.
That's right. Oh, so
Sounds
many.
like
So many
Chopped.
good times.
Sounds like chopped.
Anything that
Were
you're
you
too old
talking
for?
about boozy brunch? I don't know if I'm too old for it or I
You're
just
never too old for
got
boozy
old
brunch.
enough to realize
You
I
don't
couldn't
want to.
handle it
Yeah.
at all. Is
Yeah.
shots. I can't do
Oh,
shots.
shots.
What?
No.
What
I
are
can't
shots?
either.
You don't do shots at boozy brunch.
No.
I don't know what kind of
No.
boozy brunch you're going
No,
to.
just
but
talking
You
about
drink at
day
boozy
drinking and
brunch.
things. It just made me
Exactly.
think of
Mimosas
the alcohol.
You did
I
Yeah.
don't know if I'm too old for it or I just got old enough to realize,
Bloody Mary.
matured enough to realize.
She
You're
did. Don't listen to
too
her. She did
old
shots during the
to
Super
get
Bowl.
Drunk.
I did. Jello shots.
Too old
Jello
to get
shots.
drunk. Like tipsy's good.
I can get drunk real easy.
Yeah, but boozy brunch, you spread it out over a long time.
Right.
You start, a margarita, or
And
a
a-
Bloody Mary, or
a slice of French
mimosa.
toast.
Yeah.
Well,
and then you just let it roll.
Jay.
Like, you make some great
Listen,
Bloody Marys.
we had
I mean,
to
that's a
ch-
meal.
We had to change our boozy brunch. We would have brunch on Sundays. And we had to change it to Saturday because it would get out of hand.
We're hungover
and
on
couldn't
we
go to
would
work
then-
on Mondays.
On Mondays.
So what are you talking about? We had to move brunch to Saturday.
So,
Got a little out of
what's that,
hand.
Saturday, Sunday? Like,
It's all one day.
you gotta make exceptions,
We
you know?
need
You
the
gotta-
recovery day. So
Yes.
They
that's
both
it.
begin with S.
Yeah. We did have to move.
We did, yeah.
That was hilarious.
It's not Sunday brunch now; it's Saturday brunch,
Yeah.
which we love.
Smart.
But all right, we have to get to one thing. We did the lap dance workshop a couple weekends ago.
Right.
So Rachel Brenna, the
I
owner,
was not part of this,
You were
just
not
in
there.
case
You were
anybody
not
has
there.
any questions.
But Rachel was not able to come into the studio because she teaches a class on Wednesday night. So we did a little interview, and I want to play that because it was such a great workout, such a fun, different workout. If you're looking for something different to switch it up, check out this interview and sign up. Run, don't walk. It was great. Hit it, guys.
And 3, 2,
Please help me welcome to the show Rachel Brenna from Open Heart Dance Studio in Robbinsville, New Jersey. Rachel, thanks for joining us today.
Tracy, thank you for having me.
My pleasure. If anybody has listened to the show, you know that I recently had the opportunity to attend the lap dance workshop at Open Heart Dance Studio. It was a phenomenal experience, an amazing workout, and I said, Rachel, you have to come on and tell us all about what you do there. So your website says that you teach S-Factor, feminine movement, and pole fitness. Tell everybody what it's all about.
Okay, so it's a little different from other pole studios in that I teach what's called S-Factor, which is a feminine embodiment practice, we say. Although those are kind of big words when you have no idea what it is. So S-Factor was created about 20 years ago, actually, by Sheila Kelly, who is also an actress. She still runs her company, S-Factor, and she created this movement because she was playing a role where she had to play an exotic dancer, and she realized through the work that she was getting in phenomenal shape, and she decided to share that with some people in her home, and then it sort of blew up into studios all over the country. And the reason it's different is because the warm-up is essentially taken from the clubs, but also kind of merged into a workout, and then those are the things that you use to dance with. So it allows you to free yourself up. It allows yourself to release emotion. It allows yourself to get a great workout, to feel sensual for maybe the first time in a long time for many women. And then of course the pole is there as a workout and a way to continue to pull that movement out of you that we feel actually happens naturally in your body.
It does. And would you say anybody could do this type of workout? Like, what fitness level is this for?
Any fitness level, any fitness level. That's what I also love about it. You could be at square one. I have a woman in my class who says she goes to the gym all the time. She's a fitness fanatic, and her first class she thought was really hard. She was like, I was so sore. And because you're using muscles in a different way, but also it's very gentle. So there's a lot of stretching, there's a lot of core work, and it takes you through the movement slowly enough so that you are going to build strength. So and also the first day, we're not going to have you climb. We're not going to do crazy pole tricks. We're going to teach a beginner pole trick. It's really fun because some people pick it up instantly and some people are like, oh my gosh, I can't do this, but eventually everyone gets it. So you really do build your strength over time. I mean, a lot of women just don't have crazy upper body strength. So it seems, weird to expect everybody to be an athlete when they first walk in the door.
Right. Like you demonstrated to us something that, you might be able to do on the end of your journey, the 8 weeks. So the 8 week, you do the course in 8 week sessions, and
Yes.
It's called the journey, right? So you demonstrated some things that we would maybe be able to do at the end of our journey, and I was stunned. And I can't wait to sign up. I can't wait to come back. It really was the best workout, the most fun, low impact, but it was kind of mind, body, all immersive. You factor in relaxation, sort of meditation, yoga with the stretching, and it was just a phenomenal workout. I can't wait to come back. It was amazing.
Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
How did you get involved in S-Factor? How did you start your journey?
Yeah, it was a while ago. It was back in 2007, actually. I was roped into a class by a friend who said, I'm taking these dance classes. You should come. And I was like, sure. What is it? I was kind of, up for usually some adventure. And then she told me what it was. I was like, no way. I can't do that. I'm such a klutz. So, so we ended up running into a teacher out socially, and she said, I'm going to give you a class for free. Here's my card. Come to class. So I took the class, and I thought I was in shape at the time. I was a runner. I did yoga. I went to the gym. And I was blown away. And then I saw the teacher demo and I was just floored. I could not believe what she could do. And I said, I have to do that. So then I actually started working for the company within the same year. And then about a year later, I started managing the S Factor in Los Angeles, and then eventually the other 2 studios in Southern California. So I've been involved with it for a really long time. When I moved to New York, I continued as a student. I didn't necessarily work for the company, but I have loved it this entire time. And when the pandemic happened and the studio shut down, I was teaching virtually, people were teaching virtually. It's not quite the same environment, and I just missed it so much. So I decided I have to open one.
We're so glad you did, and that you brought it to this area. It's funny. I'm thinking, where can I put a pole in my house?
Yes.
Where can I put a pole? I don't know. I've got to work that out, but I really can't wait to do the journey and start that. It's going to be a great time. You have not had your grand opening yet, but you will, and you'll let us know all about that, and we'll come and tell everybody. But you do have classes. Classes have started. Tell us about the classes if anybody is interested and wants to sign up.
Yes, so classes have already started. We actually have 2 journey classes already running on Wednesday night and Sunday. We're already we're at week 3. We just passed week 3, so they'll continue 8 weeks, and then it rolls over into level 3. We actually go all the way up until level 6.
Wow.
And yes, and then you actually just continue your journey for as long as you want. I've been doing it since 2007. I'm still doing it. And so we have those 2 classes. We have a Friday night FFM, Fluid Feminine Movement, and that is primarily the workout. It's a really great workout, but again, you said gentle and kind, but also intense, and teaches you the movement. And then on Saturday mornings, we have Absolute S, which is like a truncated version of the journey. And by April, we're going to start a new level 1-2 for all the new students. So we'll have some intros running before then.
All right. I think I'll be in for the April sessions.
I think you will.
So
I have a sign.
by level 6, what can I expect to be doing? Is that like inversions, and like what's level 6?
Oh yeah, definitely. Inversions. You're going to do inversions, I think, by level 3. Yes, level
Wow.
3. So in the next session, we take you through it gently, break everything down, spot you. It's all safe. And then, yeah, by level 6. So essentially the point of the journey is that you're going deeper into what Sheila calls the erotic creature. And that is essentially that piece of you that is your sensuality, it's your passion, it's your creativity, it's your soulful side. It's the piece of you that you probably keep hidden most of the day while you're working, while you're doing your errands, while you're taking care of your family, while you're taking care of everyone else. So the journey allows you to go deeper into that. You're going to learn more advanced pole tricks. You're going to climb. You're going to invert. You're also going to free dance. So by the end of level 3, we take everyone through what we call a moving meditation. You learn the routine, and then you veer off from the routine, and you learn to move the way your body wants to and the way your body takes you to move. So then you end up free dancing, and that is most of it. It's like a constant sort of journey through yourself, your desires, your emotions, and it's amazing. Like honestly, level 4, 5, and 6 are just for me. It's like it's everything. I love to watch everyone transform. And, you could be going through anything in your life, and you can come into the studio and just like let go.
Yeah, just check it at the door. Check your worries at the door.
Right. And this is your playground. This is your space to just get it out for 2 hours.
Yeah, it sure is. So awesome. What I really loved and was so impressed by, that there are no mirrors anywhere in the studio. So you're not looking at every like little flaws. You're like, you get out of your head and you're in the moment doing your thing. And that was so powerful.
Thank you. Yeah, that's the purpose. We are so critical as women. We're gonna look at every little thing. Am I doing this right? Is this does this look pretty? Right. And we want people to really sink into their body and feel how it feels, not see or look how it feels. And also, we get to be each other's mirrors. We cheer each other on. We create a community. We support each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How cool. And what do you love most about teaching S Factor? Or not even teaching it, just doing. What do you love most about it?
I mean, kind of how I said, it's so cathartic for me. It's just a place where the lights are down, the music is up, I get out of my head and I can just be. And the dance doesn't have to be anything spectacular. It's just how I feel that day. It's really therapeutic. That's why I love it after all this time. And it just helps me feel connected and grounded. I've learned so much over time doing this that I feel more confident. I feel more empowered. I feel more able to, when I'm dancing more frequently, I am able to speak my truth. And it's incredible what it does.
It's
and
very empowering.
Yeah.
When we were done, you said, "How do you feel?" Do you remember what I said?
I don't actually. I'm
You
sorry.
don't? I was like, Rachel, I feel like the baddest bitch on the block. Like,
Yes.
it really was so empowering and so much fun. And I really cannot wait to come back and get all my girlfriends involved in it. It's the best workout. So if anybody wants to take a class, what's the app that is to sign up on? Wellness Living?
Wellness living.
Wellness
And
Living.
and you can find it through the website. So on the page where the schedule is, it'll link you through the website. But Wellness Living, if you download the app or do it online, that's probably the easiest.
So openheartnj.com. Check it out. The link for Wellness Living is on there. Check out all the classes. Take one. You won't be sorry. It's so magnificent. Life-changing, really. You're going to love it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us today. And promise you'll come back.
Yes,
As soon as
definitely.
you can, come in studio and we'll just have a ball.
Yeah, it sounds fun. I'd love to.
All right. Thank you, Rachel. Thanks. Do a giveaway.
Happy month anniversary.
It's
Happy
gonna
month
be
anniversary.
It's gonna be good times. But that's it. That wraps it up for tonight. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and hit the notification button. Smash all those buttons, and have a great week. See you later. Peace out.
Bye.
Good night.